Hi FBC family, it's Trish here, and I'm going to share a little bit of what life has been like during the season of COVID-19 in my house, in my home, family of 8. Lots going on before this COVID-19 thing started, and then throw that on top of things, and it gets really fun and exciting. We have lots of young adults here, our kids, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22 and 24. So lots of excitement in the house. And I just wanted to share something that I hope encourages you. The Lord really spoke to me about this week. Sometimes when you are in close quarters, underlying issues can get escalated very fast. And I was finding that happening with someone in my household, and it was very difficult. The stress levels were really high, and I was feeling very angry in my heart and offended. And the Lord really spoke to me this week in my daily scripture reading, and He totally changed the situation. So I just wanted to share that with you as a form of encouragement. If you are in a house with someone who might be challenging for you to be around all of the time, 24/7, God can totally help. So I was reading through the book of John, and in John chapter 5, Jesus had just healed someone on the Sabbath, and that made the religious leaders very, very angry. And in fact, so angry that they sought to kill him after this. And it says, for this reason, the Jews began to persecute. And in my Bible, which is the Amplified, right after persecuted amplifies that word. And the two words after that were annoy and torment. They sought to persecute, annoy, and torment Jesus after this, seeking to kill him. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's exactly how I feel with this person, this relationship. It's annoying me and it's tormenting me. And it's making me so angry. And I thought, well, what did Jesus do about that? Because he's my example. Like, what did he say? How did he deal with that? And it says that he answered them, Jesus answered them, my Father has worked even until now. He has never ceased working. He is still working, and I too must be at divine work. And I thought, that's so weird. Why would Jesus answer them about work? His Father working, him working, when they were persecuting him, annoying him, and tormenting him. And so I started thinking about the Father working. What are the works of the Father? Immediately I thought, salvation, forgiveness, reconciliation, restoration, help, healing. Oh my dear, all of these things. And I immediately thought, his humility, the work of the Father was humility. He didn't have to forgive us. He didn't have to offer a way of salvation. He didn't have to send his Son to suffer and die and humble himself before his very own creation. And I thought of a couple of scriptures immediately. Philippians chapter 2, it describes Jesus. And I had it here and then I lost it. And it says about Jesus that though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. And when he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on the cross. That's our God. I thought, oh my dear. So when Jesus told his persecutors, his tormentors, that his Father is working and he also must be working, he's saying, I am going low. I am going low to give you an opportunity to go high. Oh, and then I thought immediately, Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, on the night he was crucified, the night before his crucifixion, after they had Passover dinner together, he got up from the table and he put the apron, the servant's apron, around his waist, and he filled a basin with water and he proceeded to wash his disciples' feet. And this is God. And he said, I want you to do the same to each other. I'm showing you how I want you to act. And immediately I thought of the relationship in my family that had been annoying me and tormenting me, and I was feeling very superior, and I was feeling very prideful, self-righteous, and I felt the Lord challenge me and say, Trish, your job is to do my works here on earth, and that involves humility, and that involves servanthood, serving. And I actually, to be honest, I found it a little difficult to swallow at first. It took all day for the Lord to soften my heart. But through prayer with a friend, talking with another Christian friend, and then a random video that another friend sent me, all talking about the same thing, humble yourself, Trish, I eventually did. It's always better to obey what the Lord is telling you to do. If I've learned anything in this life, obey. God, you can't lose. In fact, when you resist, I always lose. So it's much better to obey. So I did humble myself, and I went to this person and I apologized. And I asked the Lord to make me a servant. And you know what happened? The relationship was completely restored. All of the weeks of built up tension and anger and, the silent treatment and everything that families do when you're like angry with one another evaporated. It just was completely restored. It was completely reconciled and healed. And I just want to encourage you that with God, all things are possible, even living in close quarters with family members that can annoy and torment you. And I just want to encourage you to seek the Lord during this season, because it is hard and it can be very challenging, but God is faithful, and He does have answers in His Word for everything that we can possibly experience here on earth. And He wants us to thrive in Him. So God bless you, church family. Thanks for listening, and I just pray that you will be blessed during this season. In Jesus' name. Thanks so much for listening.